Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you a really lovely and quite easy stitch called the V ripple stitch. And it is sort of like a chevron in that it creates a lovely edge on the top and the bottom. And it is, of course, ripple, chevron, whatever it is that the terminology that you'd like to use, and it uses little V-stitches. So it is not quite so chunky as, say, a granny. It's reminiscent of the feather and fan, but overall it's really, really quite simple with just a one row repeat. Yes, you heard me correctly, a one row repeat. So this is one of those great stitches for some mindful stitching. Now this piece, couldn't help myself, I went through my stash of yarn and I found a skein of this, which is the Lion Brand ice cream yarn in the colorway of Lemon Swirl. Absolutely gorgeous yarn. And no, I'm not sponsored, just to get that clear, but you know me, I always like to let you know what it is that I use. Now, it recommends for this thickness of yarn a size H hook. Now, typically, you could go with a smaller size hook with this particular yarn because it is rather thin. You could use a G very comfortably. However, I did use, for this example, a size H, which is a 5.00 millimeter hook. Now, what I'm going to use for today's example, I have some worsted weight Red Heart Super Saver. I think this is Country Blue. And I'm going to be using, believe it or not, a size K crochet hook for this worsted weight yarn. This is a 6.5 millimeter hook because I find that for this particular stitch, it actually behooves you to go a little bit larger with the hook size so that you can see where your stitches are that much easier. Also, it creates a really beautiful lacy look to it. Now, of course, you could use whatever weight yarn and whatever hook size that you want to. I'm just giving you, what I'm personally doing. And if it works for you, fabulous. If you want to try something else, hey, go for it. March to the beat of your own bongos, as I always say. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so I made up my base chain, and what your base chain needs to consist of is a multiple of 14 chains plus an additional 5 chains. Now, really, of course, it depends on how wide you want your piece to be. You can make this as easy as a scarf, a baby blanket, a throw, a wrap, an afghan, what have you. Choice is totally up to you. But you will need a multiple of 14 chains, and then you need to add an additional 5 chains. Now, keep in mind that, as you can see with this piece here, your chains, they get sort of scrunched together a little bit. All right, so you're going to need more chains than you would initially need if you were just having a straight edge at the bottom, okay? So keep that in mind, and it might help you to perhaps create a smaller swatch in order to see, the gauge of each of the ripples of the 14 stitches. So what I did was I did 3 multiples of 14 chains plus an additional 5, so I have 47 chains here, okay? So figure out, how many chains you're going to need. Multiple of 14 plus an additional 5. I'll let you do that, and then we'll get started. Alrighty, let's begin. So, into the 5th chain from the hook, we need ourselves a double crochet. Like so. Skipping the next 2 chains, going into the 3rd, right here, with a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet into that same chain. And this creates our first V, as it were. Oh, I didn't do a chain 1, did I? There we go. and double crochet into that same stitch. There we go. So we got ourselves a little V there. All right. Then skipping the next 2 chains, going into the third again. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Now this is all into the same stitch. All 4 of these double crochets with a chain 1 space, all into that same chain stitch. All right. So this is one of the valleys, and this is one of the hills. So we need to go back down to make another valley. All right, so skip the next 2 chains, going into the third. We need another V-stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into that same stitch for a V-stitch. And now to complete the valley, we need to skip the next 2 chains, going into the third. We're going to start a double but not finish it, because we need to double crochet 2 together. Skip 1 chain, going into the next. Going to work our double part way and then pull through all 3. So we're double crocheting 2 together with 1 chain in between them. All right, so that is our valley. So now we have to go back up to make another hill. So skipping 2 chains, going into the third with a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into the same chain to make another V-stitch right there. And then we need the top of the hill here, so skipping 2 chains, going into the third, double crochet, chain 1, and into the same stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, for a total of 4 double crochets with a chain 1 space in between each, all into that same stitch. All right, so now we have to go back down to make another valley. So skipping 2 chains, going into the third, we need another V-stitch, so double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into the same stitch, like so. Skipping 2 chains, going into the third, start a double crochet but don't finish it. Skip a chain, going into the next, start that double, and pull through all 3 for 2 double crochets together. So we have our valley. We need another hill, and we're almost there. So skip 2 chains, going into the third. We need another V-stitch. So that's double, chain 1, and double into the same stitch. Skip 2 chains, going into the third again. We need another hill. So double crochet, chain 1, into the same stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. So we have again our hill of 4 double crochets separated by a chain 1 space. So now we need to go back downwards. So to create our last valley, skipping 2 chains, going into the third, we need another V-stitch. So that is a double crochet, a chain one and a double crochet into that same stitch. And then last but not least, skipping 2 chains, going in with the beginning of a double crochet, but don't finish, and you should have 2 chain stitches left over. Now we're going to skip that 1 chain going into the last one and finish up our crocheting these 2 double crochet stitches together, like so. And that is the end of the first row. All right, now I'm going to lay this out for you so you can see just what it is that I'm talking about as far as the scrunching together. All right. So you can see the little hills and valleys going on. Now, if this were just regular double crochets in one straight line, it wouldn't be like a slinky going in on itself. So expect that, the bottom edge is going to be warbled. It's like it's not going to look, completely flat. Oh no, you don't want it to. So we're going to keep on going. Now also keep in mind that the edges here and here, the vertical edges are going to be straight. The top and the bottom are going to be warbly and wavy. Okay, so just keep that in mind, So if it looks a little bit weird, it's supposed to at the moment. But it'll make sense as you go on. All right, so we're going to continue on with the second row. Alrighty, so for the second row, which this is going to be the repeat of the entire pattern, quite frankly, start with a chaining up of 2, 1 and 2. Okay, then you turn your work, and into this first chain 1 space right here, go in with a double crochet, like so. All right. Then, now what you have ultimately here, you have 3 chain 1 spaces when we created our 4 double crochets. So into the first chain 1 space, we need to create a V stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into that first space. Okay, then into the middle space, we need our increase for the hill. So that is going to be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, like so. So you end up with 4 double crochets with a chain 1 space, to maintain the hill, as it were. Okay, so then into the next chain 1 space right here, do another V, so that is a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. All right. Then, now down here, this is where we need to do our valley, right? So, going into this space here and this space here, these spaces is where we need to do our 2 double crochets together. Now this is why I recommended using a larger size hook, because it makes it a lot easier to see these stitches, especially when you're first learning this stitch. So going into this V space right here, start your double, but don't finish it. And then going into the next one right here, start a double right into there, and then go through all 3. So you double crocheted your 2 together right there, and that creates your valley. So then into the next chain 1 space, because we have our 4 double crochets right there, so into the next double crochet, chain 1 space, excuse me, we need another V stitch. So going in with a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet for a full V stitch right there. I didn't do a chain 1, did I? No, I'm messing up. No, I did do a chain 1. I'm sorry, I'm a little confuzzled right now. All right, so we have our V-stitch into that first of the 3 spaces. So into the middle space, we need to do another one of our hills. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and one more double crochet because we need a total of 4 double crochets separated by a chain 1 space into that middle space. So then we need another regular V into the next space. So into that next chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. All right. And then we need to do another valley. So into this space, this chain 1 space, and this chain 1 space, we need to double crochet 2 together. So going into the first chain 1 space, start the double but don't finish it, and then into the next chain 1 space, start your double crochet. Got to yarn over first, don't I? There we go. And then through all 3, double crocheting your 2 together. Okay, then on to the next chain 1 space because we have our 3 chain 1 spaces. So in the first one, we need to do a V. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Into the middle chain 1 space, we need another hill. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. So you have 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. Then into the next chain 1 space, we need another V. So that's going to be a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into that same space right there. And now, excuse me, and now we need another decrease. So starting our double crochet into this chain 1 space right here, but not finishing. Okay, then the next one needs to be right into this stitch right here, or you could do it into the top of this chain here. Personally, I am just going to go into the space. You know, it's not terribly crucial. And then through all 3 together. Okay. And that is the end of the second row. Okay. Let me just pull this out and I'm going to show you what it looks like now. A bit more pronounced. Lovely and lacy. Alrighty, so that's the end of the second row. And, you know, as I said, that is the repeat. It's just the same thing over and over and over, but I'm going to do a few repeats for you because you know me, I like to make sure that you guys really get it and understand because I know it can be daunting. So I'm going to keep doing a few more rows for you because I really do care about your success when you're trying to do this. Okay, so we'll keep on going. Alrighty. Alrighty, so let's do a repeat, shall we? Alright, so we're going to start by chaining up 2, 1 and 2, turn the work. Now, going into that first chain 1 space right there, I'm going to do a double crochet, merging those 2 together right there on the edge. And now we have our 3 chain 1 spaces, right? Well, into the first one, we need a regular V-stitch. So that is, of course, a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet for our V-stitch. Now into the middle space, we need 4 double crochets separated by a chain 1 space. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. All right, so we have our 4. Into the next chain 1 space, we need another V. So that's double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, all into that one space. And now we need another valley. So into this space and into this space. Basically you're skipping over this area in the middle. Now be aware that that is not actually a chain 1 space. That is a stitch, a space in between your stitches. Same thing right here. Be aware of that. It's very easy to get lost. So when you're looking for a point, a reference point, it helps if you go based on the previous row. See right here, we have our V-stitch with the chain 1 space, okay? All right, so going in this space right here, starting our double but not finishing, and then going into that space on the other side right here, going in for the double, and then pulling through all 3 to double crochet the 2 together, like so. Okay, and into the next chain 1 space, because we have here our 3 chain 1 spaces. So going into the first one, we need another V. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Into the middle, we need our hills, so that is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet for a total of 4 double crochets separated by a chain 1 space. Into the next chain 1 space, we need another V. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet for our V-stitch. Then we need to double crochet 2 together. So we have our chain 1 space here and here. And we need to double crochet 2 together. So going in, starting the double but not finishing. And then on the other side, into this space right here, going in and double crocheting these 2 together like so. All right, the next chain 1 space, because again we have our 3 spaces right there. Into the first space, we need to do another V-stitch, so that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Into the middle space, we need our hill, so that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, like so. Into the next chain 1 space, we need a regular V, so that's double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet for the V. And we reached the end of the road. So now, going into the next chain 1 space right here, going in, starting a double but not finishing, and then where these 2 join, here and here, right into the top here, we're going to double crochet our 2 together like so. And that way we will maintain a nice straight edge on this side as well. And I'm going to do that again for you. So we have our chain 1 space here, and then we have our end here where they were joined together in the beginning. So going into the space, beginning a double but not finishing, and then at the juncture right here, and then double crochet them both together. Da 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 da. All right, so we have another one under our belt. I just think this is such a gorgeous stitch. Really, really is. All right, and so I'm going to do one more with you, and I think that should do it. Alrighty. Alrighty, for the repeat, we start by chaining up 2, turn the work, and into the first chain 1 space right here, double crochet, like so. And then we have our 3 spaces. So into the first space, we need a V-stitch, so that's a double, a chain 1, and another double. The middle space, we need a hill, so that's 4 doubles separated by a chain 1 space each. So that's 2. 3, and 4 double crochets with a chain 1 space in between each. Next space, we need another regular V, so that's a double, a chain 1, and a double. Okay. Then we need to do our decreasing for the valley, so that's our first space right here. Start the double, but don't finish it. And then on the other side, it's this one right here. Go right in there, start the double, and then double crochet these 2 together. Next, chain 1 space over here, another V-stitch, so that's double, chain 1, and double. The middle space, we need another hill, so that's 4 double crochets separated by 1 chain each. So that's double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, and double. Okay. Next chain 1 space, we need another V, so that's double, chain 1, and double. Okay, need another valley decrease, so into the next chain 1 space, start the double but don't finish it. And then into the next chain 1 space, start the double, and then pull through all 3. Okay, we reached our top hill here, so into the first space, we need another V, so that's double, chain 1, double for the V. Middle chain space, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, double, chain 1, and double. All right, next chain space, another V, so that's double, chain 1, and double for the V. Okay, and we reach the end of the road. So into the next chain 1 space, start the double but don't finish. And then the junction right here. Go into the top of that stitch right there. pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. All right. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it, and I hope you do too. And if you do like this, please show your support. I would love to see a little thumbs up button because your support always means ever so much to me. I really do appreciate your appreciation. Also, I would love to hear your comments and your ideas and everything. And also, if you want to see more, please hit subscribe because I really do try to post as often as I can, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narrations or on my other channel, Fiber Spider Games. I do commentary and playthroughs of video games, and it's all lots of fun, and between this and that and the other, I'm busy as a bee on way too much caffeine. Speaking of which, until next time, I want you all to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye for now.